Welcome back. We are on day 4 of the 10 days of Holy Yoga. I hope that you've enjoyed your experience this far, and I'm excited to share today's offering, which is all about balance. The first Psalm, verse 2 and 3, says, "But whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night? That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do, it prospers." So I want to practice just this act of finding our rootedness and our groundedness, even when it's a little bit wobbly. So go ahead and just find a comfortable seated position, and let's just breathe for a minute before we start our practice. So whenever you're ready, just close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths, allowing your thoughts to settle and maybe noticing what they're like without judging them or trying to control them. Just notice your thoughts and then give yourself permission to release them and think about them later. Good. So as with all of our practices, if you need time to warm up, please take a few minutes to take a few sun salutations to get warm. And we are going to meet at the top of our mat in standing mountain pose. Okay, friends, so standing in your mountain pose where you have happy toes, your toes should be able to lift and wiggle, and then you're supported fully by the four corners of your feet. So start with that mountain pose, firm legs, so you're lifting the kneecaps, firming the thighs, tucking the tailbone, engaging your core by knitting those ribs together. And just find a little bit of stillness here. And then we're going to go ahead and press firmly into that left foot in the four corners of the left foot and gently raise the right foot just a few inches to hover off of your mat, and then come back to center. We're just letting that left leg know that we're about to make it work here. Good. So the right knee is going to lift a little higher this time. Engage your belly. You're going to feel everything kind of start to shift here, and make sure you're not clenching those toes. And then back to center. Hands can also come to your heart if that helps bring a little balance here. So go ahead and lift the right toes all the way up. The right knee is in line with the hip if that's available for you. And then you're going to take that right foot and plant it either at the ankle, on the shin, on the inside of the shin, or if it's available, you can come all the way into the inner thigh, always avoiding the knee. So friends, when you're practicing balance, find something that's not moving. This is a great time to use your listening skills and listen to me. You want to find something that is not moving so that you don't lose your balance. So finding your tree pose, and then go ahead and find your breath. I'm going to show you a few different balancing postures, and then towards the end of our practice, we're going to put them all together and make a little fun flow out of it. Good, so go ahead and bring that right knee back to center and plant it on the earth. Shake that left leg out a little bit. We're gonna move over to the left side. So hands at your heart, you can have them to your side, wherever you feel like you have the most balance. Left leg lifts lightly, and then back to center. Good, and again, really pressing into that right leg, firming that right thigh, and then back to center. Good, and then bring that knee all the way in line with the hip at 90 degrees. Your left toes are still flexed here. Engage your core, and then find your tree pose on the left side. So really open the heart and squeeze the shoulders together on the back side of the body, finding your focus. Maybe it's on the floor, maybe it's straight ahead of you, and then bringing your foot to your version of tree pose, and it may be different than the other side. Once you're there, I want you to take full awareness and full scan of your body. So is that right leg still engaged? Is your core still engaged? Are you breathing? Maybe smile. Good, so you want to find that place where you're wobbling. If you notice, if you're just watching me right now, if you notice I'm wobbling a little bit, that's where the work is happening. So you're not falling over, but you're not standing perfectly still either. This is the work. This is where it's being done. Good, so bring that knee into center. Take a big breath in, and then exhale that left foot to earth. Shake it out. So we're gonna add on eagle pose. So right foot is gonna come back up in line with your hip. Let's find your tree pose just for a breath. So maybe you just bring it to the calf. Option to bring those hands up overhead or into a cactus. And then we're gonna take that right foot and come back to center. Bend that left knee just a little and then cross that right leg over, like you're sitting in a chair. So again, your hand placement can be wherever you wish. If it's available, you can wrap that right foot around to the other side of your calf for a full eagle wrap here. Option to dip down a little lower. Again, making sure you're not clenching those toes. Breathing. Good, and then slowly unwind. Lift the right knee into the sky. Come back through your tree pose just for a breath. Inhale. Exhale back to the earth. Nice job. Starting to feel the shake a little bit. Go ahead and shake those legs out. We're going to go over to the other side. So planting the four corners of the right foot, left knee lifts. And then we're going to bring our left foot into our tree. Find your variation of hand placement. Left knee comes back to center. And as you exhale, find your eagle on the other side. So maybe you start with just crossing that leg over, just like you're sitting in a chair. Maybe you point the left toes and find a full wrap here. It may be different on each side as well. Engage your core and breathe. One more breath. Good. Bring that left knee back to center. Slowly unravel. And then back through tree just for a breath. Good, and then coming back to the earth. Shake it out. Nice job, you guys. So we're gonna add on, building our flow, one posture at a time. Hands at your heart, hands overhead, wherever you would like them. Right knee lifts, big breath in. Exhale, tree. Inhale, lift that right knee again. And then find your eagle as you exhale. Inhale, back to center. This time we're gonna take that right foot and we're gonna hinge at the hips and find our warrior three. So that left knee can have a slight bend. The right toes are facing your mat. Your heel is pressing into the wall behind you. Hands can be at your heart. They can be overhead. They can be behind you, but hear me, your back foot does not need to be lifted high for this to be an effective posture. You can be at like a 45-degree angle and it's perfectly effective. If that's your edge, stay there. Nice job, you guys. We're gonna come out of this. Inhale, sweep that right knee into center. And then coming through to our eagle pose. Inhale, right knee goes up. Exhale, tree pose. Inhale, right knee lifts. Exhale, right foot comes to the earth. Yes, feel the shake, feel the wobble. Left leg comes high. Whenever you're ready, bring those hands up or into a cactus or at your heart. Big breath in, exhale, tree pose. Inhale, lift that left knee back to center and then exhale over into your eagle. Inhale, the knee comes back up. And then exhale into warrior three for 3 breaths. So find your truth in this posture. You may not be at a 90-degree angle where you're completely forward, but you can stay exactly where you are as long as you're honoring your spine. So you want to straight back. Feel the wobble and know that you're entering into a state of rest right now. Your mind recognizes, even though it feels like hard work, it is a state of rest right now. Good, bring that left knee in as you inhale. Exhale, eagle. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, tree. Good, inhale, lift and lower. Nice job, you guys. So you can pause here and go back through that a few more times if you want to, just to feel the practice of it. But I want to show you one more balancing posture before we move on, and then we're going to take a nice little savasana at the end. So back in your standing pose, lift those hands all the way overhead, big breath in, and come to the tippy toes. So when you're ready, slow and controlled, engage your core and start to lower your hips towards your mat. You're gonna feel a lot of shaking here. That's totally normal. And then once you're here, bring your hands to your heart and just balance on your tiptoes on your forefoot. Tall spine, get really tall. Good. Go ahead and lift the hips and find your way into forward fold. Inhale, sweep those hands all the way overhead, tippy toes. Exhale, lower. Maybe add a smile. I am wobbling like crazy, and I hope you are too, because that means you're changing some things in your body and in your mind right now. Good, let those fingertips come to your mat and lift the hips, forward fold. One more time, sweep those hands all the way overhead, come to your tippy toes and lower nice and slow, like you're sitting in a chair, and then find your heels with your hips and stay here. 2 breaths, really slow, deep breath. Beautiful work, you guys. Go ahead and let your fingertips come to each side of your hips and let your hips just fall to your mat. And when you're ready, just slow and controlled, find your way all the way back to final resting posture. Savasana is the greatest posture in yoga. So take a few minutes to really set up for this and give yourself a few, maybe 2 or 3 minutes to just be here with your breath. Allow your feet to splay open at the edge of your mat, your hands or palms up, out towards your side. Good, and just find some deep breaths. Good, and just coming back to our verse about being rooted and bearing fruit in all seasons, because when we are rooted in Christ, no matter how wobbly we get, we can produce fruit in every season. And you can stay here as long as you wish, just breathing. I hope you had so much fun practicing balance with me, and just understand this, that it is a practice. So if you're wobbling, if you're sweating a little bit, if you're laughing at yourself and falling over, then you're doing it right. But just understand that you are nourishing your mind and you are taking time to build skills that are so much more effective than we can see on the surface. So I will see you tomorrow for day 5 when we talk about upper body strength. Until then, namaste.
So you've rolled up your mat and you've taken care of your body, but are you taking care of your mind and your heart? In a season where I found myself completely overwhelmed and anxious with day-to-day life, I recognized that something was missing. And that something was daily routine and self-care and love. So over the next few months, I began to build new habits, a new routine, and some consistency that really brought life back into my heart, into my mind, and into my body. And I want to share that with you. Head on over to dailysoulcare.com and grab your free copy today.